Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Saturday to everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So came in today about 9 or so and decided that I needed to go ahead and do the cam break-in on this beauty. So this is basically a 1500cc hot rod 36 horse based motor that is for this 54 right-hand drive Barndoor combi if you're new around here. So yeah, I had started this motor for the first time a few weeks ago, and then just got kind of busy and stuff like that. And so today finally decided to go ahead and do it. So yeah, fired it up, and interestingly, it fired right up even after having sat for a couple weeks. You know, I turned over for a few seconds and then started up, but I didn't have to use the choke, which I thought was kind of good, actually. I mean, it's obviously much easier on these cars if they'll start without using a manual choke than if you have to use it. But that having been said, if he ever does have to use it, we are going to have it fully hooked up. So again, if you're new here, this is a carburetor kit from a company called Monaro Motors that made this back in the 50s for these motors out of Australia, and they're using dual SU side draft carbs. And anyway, so there is a choke, so that's what this rod here is connecting the two carburetors chokes, and this lever here is how the choke's actuated. So ignore this piece of safety wire that I have on here. This is how I was pulling the choke just for test purposes. But yeah, you can see how when you pull on that, it moves the rod, which in turn moves the choke on the choke arm on both carbs. But anyway, and so it richens up the mixture, and it also does apply some throttle, which is, there you go, you can kind of see it working there. Yeah, see the throttle open up a little bit there when I do that right there. Anyway, so, but yeah, I was actually really happy because I didn't know how hard this motor was going to be able to start. Because again, these SU carburetors, which are very different than pretty much any, I guess, normal carburetor, for lack of a better term, they don't have any accelerator pump in the way we think of accelerator pumps, where there's like a diaphragm, and when you actuate the throttle, a rod of some sort, linkage, pushes that diaphragm, and it just basically squirts gas. The choke does a couple things. One is it opens the throttle some, like I showed you there. And the other is it actually richens the mixture. So what's happening here when you pull this is that right here, you'll see this traveling down like that. So that rod that you see going up in there is actually essentially like part of the jetting on this. And so when you pull that down, what that actually does is that richens up the mixture. And so mixture richening is there, and then increased throttle there. So yeah, that's basically how the choke works on these. So yeah, but anyway, I was very pleasantly surprised that I didn't even have to apply the choke, and it fired up even after sitting for approximately 2 weeks. So super excited about that. It did have a couple oil leaks, which I will address. One of them is on one of the main case studs. And then there might be a push rod tube or two that's also leaking. And so I think what we're probably going to do now that I've done the cam break-in and everything is obviously we'll go ahead and we'll drain the oil, and then we'll probably mostly strip the motor back down to long block. Just, take all this stuff off and reseal at least that one case stud that's leaking. And maybe, again, if it looks like push rod tubes are leaking, then pop off whichever cylinder head that's on. I think it might have been on this one. Reseal those, and then put it back together. And then probably fire it up one more time on the test stand and double check for leaks and stuff like that, and then it can go in the bus. But before that happens, probably we will go ahead and put this thing on the dyno over at Roth Vintage. Going to be very curious to see how this motor performs. And it's also just a good test to put the load on some motor. I mean, running on the test stand is great, and you can check for leaks and, do a little kind of preliminary tuning and stuff like that. I synced the carbs and stuff like that previously, but as far as actually like putting a load on it, only way really to do that short of being in the vehicle is to go on a dyno. So, and then he does have a wideband O2 sensor, so we can also do a little bit more mixture adjustment and stuff like that. So yeah, probably we will be strapping this puppy on the dyno and kind of see what it does and put it through its paces and stuff like that a little bit. So probably not this week, but maybe next week by the time we take this thing down, address those couple leaks, and then get it on the dyno. So maybe a couple weeks from now, we'll see. But anyway, so that was mostly what I did today. Also just kind of some boring shop stuff. I moved a bunch of boxes of parts into our storage container and straightened some things up, stuff like that. So yeah, boring shop stuff. But as far as what I actually worked on today, yeah, this thing had my full and undivided attention. So the other thing that happened today is that the orange 70 Ghia got its coats of paint. So let me pause this for a second and we'll go take a look. Okay guys, so here we are. I'm so excited to see this car in color. So needless to say, the clear coat is not on it yet, which is why it appears dull like that. So that's very normal. That's how base coat looks. It's not shiny. What makes a two-stage car shiny is the clear coat. But yeah, paint went on super nice. All the many times that this car has been blocked and reblocked and blocked again and stuff like that, now is when that starts paying off, because look at this thing. Even without it really shining, you can just see how beautiful the lines are and stuff on this car. So yeah, I think he's got about 3 coats most everywhere right now. There may be a little bit more orange that needs to go on the body, but he is done for this weekend. So come Monday, maybe a little bit more of the orange. And then of course, after that, it will be time for the clear. Probably do like 3 or 4 nice thick coats of clear. And then that allows us to do all the extensive color sanding and buffing and get this thing to come out like glass as far as its shine and the amount of depth and stuff that it's going to have. So yeah, guys, very happy with how this is coming out. And this literally took about half the time of the green one, which if you guys remember was all rusted out here and there and back here and under there and back here. This car had almost no rust. Had a little bit down in the bottom of the nose there by the spare tire area, and a little bit up underneath, I don't remember one side or the other here by one of the bumper mounts. But yeah, that was about it. This car is super dry, guys. But anyway, yeah, so maybe Monday I'll be showing you guys this car with some clear on it. That's pretty exciting. And then needless to say, the doors, which are hanging right there, still need to be painted, and the front and rear lids. And I think they're pretty much all prepped. It looks like those have a little bit of a guide coat on them, so he's probably going to go and block those one more time before he paints them. And off the top of my head, I don't know about the deck lid or the hood. They may need one more round of blocking too. But yeah, as far as the body's concerned, once clear goes on this, we can have our other guy come out and do the color sanding and buffing. And then we'll do a little bit of undercoating under the chassis. And yeah, then it's going to be about time for Santiago to start working his magic. I did talk to the owner today, and he's got some colors and stuff picked out for the interior. The interior is going to be custom, but with, stock style door panels and the seats and everything like that. Although two-tone on the seats, it's going to look amazing. Really got some great color combo picked out for that, and the carpet and stuff like that. So that is going to be starting pretty soon too. As soon as we locate those materials, then pretty much get started. So guys, let me pause this for a second. We'll go back indoors and wrap this up. Okay guys, so that is it for today and for this week. So thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you again on Monday. Bye.